Welcome back to video number 3. Now this video is going to cover a lot of the working royals. This is obviously stuff that happened before Trooping the Colour, obviously. But of course everybody was out and about doing their share. And so there's a lot to cover. So let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. To start off with, there was a reception at the Royal Society of Medicine for the memory of Commander Sir James Boyd Adam, and Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence was there for the private unveiling of a plaque at King Edward's Hospital. They also have put up a stained glass window in memory of this man. Apparently he had a very remarkable life. Good for them. Next up on Thursday, June 13th, Zara and Mike Tindle, even though it was raining, went to a special screening of Federer 12 Final Days at the Odeon Lux Cinema in London. In case you were unaware, this follows star tennis player Roger Federer, who had 20 Grand Slams to his name in the final days of playing professionally. Well, that sounds like an interesting movie. Wonder who thought to do that. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce, as usual, for showing us what Zara was wearing. Let's move on. Next up, we have Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. She was given a tour of a Norfolk-built boat at a boat show. It was the Seawork exhibition in Southampton, and this took place on Tuesday. Sticking with Princess Anne, she is the patron for the Foundation for Future London as she attended a UK cultural exchange launch at the Talent House. And it appears that this particular visit took place on the 14th, the day after the boat show. And that, my friends, is why she's one of the hardest working royals. Moving on. Next up, we have Duchess Sophie. She went to visit a Highfield farm in Bedford. It's a 300-acre farm. She was taking part in a, quote, field to bowl tour for the work of Leaf as a charity. Now, this is where breakfast cereal comes from. And so they were there for producer Jordan's supply chain operations. For those of you who may not know it, she has been the patron of the Association of Show and Agricultural Organizations since 2012. So there's some pictures of her as she strolled through a wildflower meadow, and then she went on to some other areas of the plant, I should say. One of the areas she went to was where they store the grain, and then she talked with some of the farmers about their work, and the breakfast cereal supplier, Jordan Works, like I told you, that's where she is. They work with the Wildlife Trust between Oat Farms, the Leaf Charity, and the Prince Countryside Fund. And they do that, they said, to make sure that our oats are grown sustainably, but that wildlife also benefits. I think that's pretty cool. She got to see the different types of grains and cereals that they offer. She then headed inside where she spoke to the people there about the production and how it all works. And she then put on some, I want to call it PPE, protective stuff, because she was going to be with other staff members in the area where the cereal is actually produced. And it is very important that, you don't want your hair and other things falling into the mix as it's being made. I think she maybe it's just me. I think she looks just as adorable in this white protective equipment as she did in her regular clothing. Now, of course, at the end of the tour, she got to see the room with everything that they produce, all the different cereals, and she was able to look at the whole thing. And I just think that's so important as part of her agricultural work to make sure that everything is done sustainably and correctly. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce, as usual, for showing us everything the lovely Sophie was wearing. Moving on. Now we're moving on to Prince Andrew. I actually feel bad for him a little bit. This all occurred right when it was announced that Trooping the Colour was happening and that Catherine was going to be there, and he realized that once again, he won't be. I feel bad for him. Anyway, he went and, rode his horse. That's what he does. It makes him happy. Between Trooping the Colour, him not going, the problems with his housing and everything else going on, you got to feel a little sorry for him. Let's move on to William. This is very interesting because on June 13th, Thursday, June 13th, William made a secret visit to M16, which is the Secret Intelligence Service. And That's who protects the UK from risks abroad. The visit was not announced. He only appeared in the court circular, which was published the next day. It is unknown if William met with M16 boss Sir Richard Moore, who has the code name of C. Now, of course, the Sugars are all claiming that this visit had something to do with Harry, and he's trying to see if Harry is really in danger and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe that. I think William has moved on from Harry and his constant drama mess. Moving on. Let's move on to the Duke of Gloucester, who went to his very first ever visit to a grassroots rowing club. Now, this club makes rowing available to everybody. It has links with the local school, and they put him out on a boat. Also, sticking with the Duke of Gloucester, he went to Cambridge Acre, where they were celebrating 100 years of making a grassroots difference for rural communities. Now, I'm sure a lot of you hung in there just to see this. The First Lady of Nigeria put up a tweet saying that it was her 70th birthday and she'd had such a lovely outpouring of love and attention. Well, she should at the age of 70. Some of the pictures that she posted were absolutely gorgeous photos of her in her office with all the important pictures that she loves around her of family, friends, and dignitaries that she's met. Now, some very eagle-eyed people went through these photos. You're not going to believe what they found. This particular Twitter user went through the photos and found a picture of the Prince and Princess of Wales from their 2022 Christmas photo. That's right, she has William and Catherine's picture up in her office. There it is circled on the right in orange. And there's no picture of Harry and Meghan anywhere to be seen. Sorry, guys, I do think that that is important because, after all, this woman refused to meet Harry and Meghan. They requested an audience and they were told no. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what to make of that. All right. You know I want you to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Don't forget to go down into the description box. You will find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my Patreon, where you get unfiltered content without having any of your comments removed like YouTube likes to do. You'll also find my Amazon wish list. If any of you have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a fabulous day.